Guess what? It's the Men's Roundtable Series podcast every Thursday evening at 7 o'clock p.m. These warriors get out and talk about men's stuff. Thanks for joining the safe space, guys. How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody well? All good?
Let's do this.
Yeah. I don't know about y'all, but I was still stuck on last week's conversation. I was riding that thing all week. I'm like, wow. It was so good. That was clearly you guys' best work last week, man. Thank you guys for contributing and doing all you were doing. Those in the chat and those that were on the panel, man. That last week was fantastic. The comments are still coming in from last week. So it definitely resonated. There's really no way we could have finished what we started last week. That's why we get into it today. But I want to give my guy Roby a quick shout out, man. He's doing something that most podcasters are attempting to do, and some people quit before they get there. He has 10 shows, and he's been monetized, man. So he's offered to be stand up and kind of help out the community with some tips and strategies. Dropping this on the screen right quick so you guys can catch it. If you're watching our podcast right now, you can see what's on the screen. If you're listening, we'll help you out in the comment section. Let us know if you want to be a part of that. But Rory, give you the stage, brother. Take about a couple of minutes, man, and share what you're going to be doing and get big picture plan, man. Go for it.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Mr. U. Yeah, guys, we've been talking about this and asking about it a lot. And I've had a lot of folks outside of this group ask me about it. And I teach a course on this, it's a 12-week deal, so on and so forth. But I want to at least give guys the bare bones and kind of the structure, the skeleton on how to start putting this together for yourself if you don't know how. If you're already monetized and you're kicking it and you're doing great, then don't worry about it. But you might want to come to this and pick up some new ideas. But we're not going to come in here and be like, hey, do an affiliate marketing link, or hey, do a buy me coffee, or anything like that. Guys, this is actually how to really and truly monetize your podcast for real. I do this for a living, and there's a way to do it, but you got to change your mindset and you got to have the right tools. There's a small cost for this, but for you guys, it's really, really, really small. The only reason we do that, though, and I'm not doing it for free, is because you got to have some skin in the game, man. If it's free, completely free, that's no value. Okay, so it's normally $1,500 that I do for a 12-week program. We're doing this for $199, guys. So if you want to come in and jump in, we'd love to have you. For the people in this group, also, Mr. U, all these guys, and anybody who's watching this right now. When you sign up, go ahead and mention this show, okay? Men's Roundtable. Just say MRT. And not only will you get in for that really, really low price, but I'll also give you a free session, one-on-one, to talk about you and your business. Off for the record, just us. We'll set it up at your convenience, and we'll make it real personalized. In addition to this, and then I'll shut up, it's from 10 to 12:30 on March 28th, okay? It is a live. If you can't make the live, but you want the stuff, I'll leave it live for 24 hours so you guys can go back in and watch it if you can't be there at that time. You just have to be able to make it that day so you can still see it. And finally, I'm committing to staying. When it's over at 12:30, I'm committing to stay for at least another 3 hours if anybody needs it. And we can talk about individual stuff. We can talk about how to apply it to your platform, your group, your people, however you want to do it. Trying really hard to put something out there that everybody can use and get something from. So there you go.
Thank you, sir. We all can get something from that. His information is on the screen, rorypaquette@gmail.com. Or you can get him on social by the same name. This is going to be for 2.5 hours, man. March 28th from 10 to 12:30 p.m. Don't treat it like another seminar. It's not that. I hear from you guys. I'm not calling your name because there's too many of you to name you guys right now. You've been crying about monetizing for a long time. I've been handing you the tissue. This is your opportunity right here. Take advantage of this. March 28th from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. It's going to be all over our socials between now and maybe the 25th. We will probably shut down the promos, but get in this. Be a part of this. So thanks for your time on that. We'll shout it out at the end of the show. All right. So if you're watching and listening for the very first time and you want to see some more episodes of the Men's Roundtable Series podcast, upper right-hand corner of the screen, the QR code. Come on, you old folks, get your camera phone out. Grab that QR code, attach it to all the shows we got out here. So who's in the audience tonight? Who's in the chat tonight? Who's out here? Said I made David Shannon in the building. Said I made it tonight. So you were doing last week. I saw comments from you last week. You good, bro? You made it. You take a roll call tonight. You good? All right, Oscar Pena, host of the very popular Daughter podcast, In the Place. Look, last week, great show. I'm telling you, man. If y'all missed last week, this week would be easier to understand, but it's a two-part. You can kind of say that. So that first part, we hit on some. We were on all cylinders last week. We were hitting stuff that I'm shocked that we went into these places, but it was so transparent and so real. These guys, man, put it all out there last week, man. So please check it out. See, I got people back in my play out here. Said it really was. I was able to watch it most of it afterwards. Love that, man. All right. Who else is out here? All right. Props for Rory, an amazing person to get help with. That's called a testimonial, y'all. Check it out. He's not getting paid for to say that. All right. All right. Javi's out here. Good to see you, brother. All right. What else we got? Okay. David, he got Rory on a couple of shows. He knows his stuff. Man, checks in the mail, baby.
I'm not paying David, just so you guys know.
you would think so, man. It's good to have, man, fans that know your work, man, and try to be connected with you, man. That's a really good thing, man. Rory is the man. All right. I don't know what this emoji is. You got to help me out with that one. I'm not that old, but I ain't that young either. So I don't know what that is, but help me out with that. Oh, man. All right. We got some blessings coming. All right. So let's go ahead and get it. So last week, I tried to do the quick recap. I can't really cover what we did last week because it's just too much was going on. But we were talking about the kind of things that men are not saying out loud, what men won't say and why they won't say it. So we were getting into that a little bit last week, and we were talking about kind of how about the unwritten rule book and why we don't say, "Oh, the crying emoji is about the monetizing." Man, I'm almost positive you received the invite regarding this. So wipe your tears and get on that call on the 28th. I think you'll be all right. All right. So we were talking about the first moment you begin to be transparent with other men. Would you learn how to be a man? And it opened so many things that I don't think we expected. And it just showed that, men, although we get a bad rep for not being layered and complex, whatever it is, we kind of consider like cave dwellers and that kind of stuff. I'm telling you right now, last week's show proves all that stuff wrong. What came out of you guys' mouths and the mouths of those that are in the chat and those that couldn't make it tonight, we showing everybody what a man really is at his core. Last week was a big start of that. We're gonna continue that again going into this week. I want to ask you guys just your take from last week. What did you see? What did you feel? What did you hear? If you watched it on replay, tell me what you guys heard and what you felt. Go ahead. Not all at one time. Those bad for podcasting? Silence. Come on, man.
All right, I'll go because I was here, so I remember it. One thing that stood out really hard, and I especially noticed it when you were putting out the clips, when we were forwarding them around and stuff after the show, was that most of us who have movements or who have things that we're working on, we have people that we're working with or that we're coaching in some capacity. Most of us are trying to be the thing that we didn't have. That's kind of what I took from that, I think, more than anything else. We understand what it's like to not have that ride or die, guy that you can call 2:00 in the morning. We understand what it's like to not have that brotherhood. And so I think we all have a very common thread of we didn't have it. We know how important it was and we didn't get it. And so we want to try and be that for somebody else. And I just thought that was really, really cool to get that out of the last episode.
I love that, man. Honestly, that's one of those things I'm hearing so much of a theme in my life and in my circles about having that person or having that Nathan in your life, so to speak, that David had, somebody that would cut you, tell you the truth, be honest with you, and not try to soft soap around you, but be real about where you're at so that we can get up. Because we talk about family and we're going to get there. I know that one person on here, or maybe two, might be mad at me before the show's over with. Hopefully they're going to love me through this show. But we're going to talk about family a little bit because A lot of folks put family on a really, really high pedestal. And Jesus didn't even do that. Jesus said, family, my mother and my brother, those that are in his temple here following the will of God. Who's my mother and who's my brother? And it said a lot because family, if you allow it to, family can become an idol, something that you worship. I know people, and I don't think they watch this show. Maybe they do, I don't know, but I know people who actually worship their children. It don't make sense in here, but it's the real thing that happens, people. And people put their whole life into their children, all the things they didn't fulfill in life in their 40, 50, 60 years of life, put into their child and turn them into an idol. And it's very, very, it's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable conversation to have. It's a very weird dynamic because the only person that should be worshipped is God himself and not anybody he created. So it's very, very weird to see that, but we're going to get into some of those things. Anybody else from the comments in the chat? I know, Chap, you were in there last week. Any thoughts from what you heard last week? Clay?
First things first.
You heard Clay too, so Brent, you can come in too. Go ahead, Chap.
First things first, Mr. U.
Good,
people like you. Your job is you're the host. You're likable. I'm the one who's here to piss people off. So, just straight.
Goodness.
How this works.
Did I step into your roles?
You're stepping on my role, man. This is my wheelhouse. Last week, man, I'm blown away by the honesty in this group, by the honest vulnerability. It takes men who are secure to be able to speak up and open up and be vulnerable and say, hey, I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. I've got problems. But in that vulnerability and that honesty, it allows other people to go, yeah, I can be honest too. And so that's one of the things I love about this group. And that's one of the big takeaways last week is we cracked into some really uncomfortable subjects, but it was the community opening up in the comments on the show itself, but also in the comments, people opening up and sharing vulnerable and having real conversations.
Yes, sir. Thank you, BD. Go ahead, chat.
Yeah, for what's up, gentlemen? First of all, hello, everybody. Second of all, if y'all don't know, I was the marriage sharing in the comments that put Mr. U in the hot seat when he attacked my TV father. I had a out of respect, but we squared it away. We're cool. We're good now.
Next night, all in the wee hours of the morning, that man text me about some Uncle Phil or Carl Winslow. Do you know?
Carl Winslow.
I was up at 4 something in the morning to go into prayer, and I seen that on my phone at 4 something in the morning. Talking about some Carl Winslow. That man was upset about this thing, man. What's wrong with you, Jack? Go ahead. I'm sorry. My apologies.
We done aired it out like brothers. We say what we had to say.
Amen.
But I'm still rocking with both of them, Phil and Carl Winslow. If you think about it, Phil's just an upgraded Carl Winslow. Instead of a cop, he's a judge. Ooh. So original, people. All right, come on. But truth and transparency, man, is important. And I think y'all covered it well last week, and I'm glad we're having this conversation. Anybody who knows me knows, I'll tell you your baby's ugly. So I'm just that guy. And I don't mean to be that way. I'm Haitian American. We're not known for our tact. Haitian culture is not known for their tact. I had to learn tact. Well, let me rephrase that. God is still working on me with my tact. And I realize now, well, I guess it's not so new, right? But truth has become the new cuss word. And I can't really call that new because, they killed Jesus for the truth, right? So it's like in this society, it's like we want to be fed lies. We want to be fed with what makes us feel good, strong, powerful, beautiful, sexy. But as soon as someone is showing the mirror, it's like we want to hate them for it. And even, the best book in the world to me is the Bible. It says, only fools hate correction, right? So it's like, I don't know where the stigma of I have to be Superman all the time comes from. We theorized, right, about it. I was on here before and I seen y'all last week. Society, women, be a man, growing up, stop acting like a baby, stop acting like a girl, man up, all these things that we're told. It kind of makes a callous of our identity. And then when we go through these hard times, we keep it in. And clinically speaking, as a therapist, that's one of the worst things you can do. It's actually been proven to cause cancer. So when you're not talking about these things that are causing things. So it's like, I'm glad that we're having these conversations. And,
Same.
respectfully to the churches that got it right, there's a lot of churches that got this wrong, because you have people in the pulpit that because they have a title or they have a following or a church size, now they don't communicate their struggles as if I'm Christian now and I got Jesus and all my sins, I don't commit them anymore. I don't think them. I don't do them. I don't react to them. Nah, what are you talking about? I don't deal with this and deal with that. Yeah, look, I'm going to speak for the people that, have, followed me or reacted to whatever I do in this space for a while. You're losing this generation with the lack of transparency in the churches. They don't believe in churches anymore, right? And I'm not going to say all churches. Some of them get it right, but what this generation of kids is looking for is not perfection. They're looking for direction, and they're not going to listen to your direction if you're not showing your imperfections. It's really as simple as that. But some churches, some people, and I'm not just to pick on churches, but a lot of people with titles or followings or some ego thing to lose, I guess, they don't want to show these type of transparent conversations. But this is what actually helps, right? Like, this is what helps. I don't want to listen. If my aim was to be a billionaire, I wouldn't want to listen to someone who was born into money that turned that money into more money. I don't care about what you got to say. Sorry, respectfully. I want to see someone that, hey, look, man, knows about spam. Yeah, I want. Do you know about spam and TV dinners and Hungry Man TV dinners? Do you know about white rice and garlic salts? Do you know about these things and oodles and ramen and noodles during college days? Do you know about Do you know about these things? And did you turn that circumstance into stuff that's more oppressive? So all that to say, truth and transparency plays a part. But of course, we can't share that type of jewel with everybody. So
copy that. Before we get any other thoughts from the panel, we got a question about whether this is pre-recorded or not. There's a big red button on the screen right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it says live. Hope that solves the issue. All right, any other comments we have regarding last week's show? Anything else? We got some more comments coming through. All right, I also got a comment that I want to be a Superman for my family and those I serve, and also work on talking it out with a brotherhood to ensure I'm getting the help that I need. Honestly, man, I love that. Thank you, sir. One of the things that was on my heart while we were talking last week was, I don't know if I mentioned this, help me out if I did. I think I tried to refresh on the vision for why I started this in the first place. Did I talk about the man on the bridge? Did I mention that last week? I really don't recall that part, but that's how this started. I had a long leg, probably 2.5 decades of doing men's ministry, like men's ministry, men's coaching, that kind of stuff. But every time we go to church, almost every time, every once in a while, maybe once a month, maybe once every couple of weeks, somebody's standing on the bridge, ready to jump. And I just because of how this junction is, you can't stop and do anything, or you just cause a massive wreck because of how it's situated. Boy, I say bridge, but they call it a bridge down here in the South, but it's an overpass where I come from. Anyways, I'll see somebody there all the time, far too regularly. And usually it sounds like because they feel like nobody cares about their voice. Nobody wants to hear what they have to say. And it takes a lot to get to that place. I've been not on a bridge, but I've been to that place, to that doorstep, because I felt like it wouldn't matter if I was here or not. And it takes a lot to get there. And what I thought this show would potentially do is help folks kind of put some layers, some barriers of entry from where they are to where they could end up, by knowing, somebody does care about what you have to say. Even if it's just one person, they care. And what's happened since we started doing this show last summer was that people who are previous panelists of this show have started to grab those 3 to 5 men they see all the time, whether it be at the bank, at the supermarket, at the movie theater, at wherever, on the bike trail, whatever, and they start grabbing them and start asking them, "Are you okay?" Because nobody's ever asked them that before. Hardly ever. "How are you doing?" They look them in the eye and wait for a response. And what that's caused is that We got prayer groups and men groups popping up all over the country. And a lot of them are attributing this show to that. So I'm proud of what you guys are doing. I'm proud of what we're building, because I know we can't get everybody. Social media offers that, but we can't really deliver on it. We can't get everybody to see the message and hear the message all at one time, but we can grab some and we can help some. And this show is doing that. So just want to say thank you. Big shout out to you guys for stepping up and being transparent. Big part of what we're doing. Any comments and thoughts or anything before we move on? Nope. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about the friendship family dynamic, because one of the things I think that with men, and we talked about it many times on this show, it did ruffle some feathers, I know, because it's a very uncomfortable topic, but we talked about, okay, do you have that person that, you know what, you got a 2 or 3 o'clock situation? Do you have somebody you can pick up that phone and say, hey, need you to talk me off this ledge? You know what I'm saying? Some people might be like, oh, I'm too strong for that. I don't need nobody. Okay, well, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the folks that are just being honest about where they're at. And they know that at any given time, somebody can be susceptible to some stuff. And they need somebody to bounce some stuff, but to be a sounding board, to be a shoulder. And sometimes it's not your missus. She ain't going to get what's going on with you all the time. She ain't going to understand what you're specifically dealing with, even if you try to explain it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, like if your dad, he may say, man up. Ain't the kind of advice you need. Can be your son, because your son might be too young to understand these kind of situations. So men that, you know, are part of this community, part of this network, sometimes those are the men. So right now, on whatever today's date is, March 12th, whatever today's date is, when we talked about it in the past, but today, just tell me real quickly, real briefly, how you feel about that as opposed to when we first started the show. Do you feel like, you know what, I'm closer to being in that place where I can trust somebody to be that 3 a.m. as opposed to where I first started when I first joined the show? Did that question make sense? That everybody got that? Nod your head, breathe, do something, man. So I know what's going on. We good? Okay. Who's going to answer first? Please do.
I'll be honest, man. Sometimes I like talking about the military experience, gentlemen. Sometimes I don't, because the military experience has been so transparent in terms of people dying, man. And I've said it a couple times on different platforms. My first few months in the Marine Corps, while standing duty, I went to a particular room with a senior Marine. He told me to open the door, and I saw the Marine hanging. Soon as we opened it, he was there hanging. And I remember his face was charcoal gray. I'll never forget it. So just seeing his face like that let me know, like, wow, like this just didn't happen an hour ago. But I remember the feeling of the feeling of failure on the whole command, the whole unit.
Oh, wow.
Even if he was your friend, he wasn't your friend. We all felt that closeness of we lost one of our own. And none of us could be in position to stop it, per se. So throughout 2 decades of serving, it was always, gentlemen, I don't want to see that again. So what can I do? Is that stand a little later to have those conversations? Is it being bold, like Chaplin said, and saying the truth of what really needs to be said? Sometimes taking ownership and going above and beyond that individual to ensure that help meets in the middle, even if that individual didn't want the help, if that makes sense. So what this platform has done for me, and I know you said be brief, Yusef, and out of respect for that, what it's done for me is reassured that there's other individuals in the same fight, outside of the military discussion. I could call plenty military buddies, and we have these discussions every day, all day, because we experienced it. And more than 50% of our job was to ensure, as leaders, that if we are going to lose a Marine, let's lose them on the battlefield versus the internal home field sitting 2 rooms over from us because nobody's checking on them. Nobody's, making sure that, hey, bro, whatever you need, I don't care what it is. It could be military related or not, you can reach out. So this platform for me, man, has been every bit of that. I was just sitting here about 5 minutes ago and I was like, oh crap, I'm not streaming it. I need to stream this to my Facebook. If it's just that one person that sees it, and I may not know who that is. So the tougher the questions are, the better. I heard you say, Yusef, you said it's spreading. And there's many individuals out there on the front lines fighting for the voice. So, and to back it up, that I know everybody here loves God with all their heart, mind, and soul. On front of the camera, off the camera, you love God with everything in your spirit. So that is that ultimate power, gentlemen.
Yeah, definitely, man. Some more comments coming through. First off, shout out to Robert in the house. It's Clay's boy. Haven't got a chance to meet you yet, brother. I heard great things about you, man. All right. Yeah, I also said we lose more of our brothers off the battlefield, man. It's the most frustrating thing. Yes, sir. I mean, I think people think this is, some men think it's a badge of honor to know somebody for 20 years and not know what they're going through. It's not a badge of honor. It's to our detriment that we could be in a room full of people, call ourselves networking and whatnot, and don't even remember somebody's name that we just got finished talking to for 20 minutes. Don't remember their name or detail about them. And honestly, we got work to do on the friendship front. We got work to do on the networking front. We got to do better. just because because I know you guys and I know your vision. I know what you're trying to accomplish in your lives and in your entrepreneurship and with your families. I recognize that, and I'm saying this to you out of love. You can't accomplish that without doing the quote unquote hard work. I don't mean being in isolation and having sales funnels. I ain't talking about email marketing. I don't mean any of that stuff. I'm talking about the things that matter to your businesses the most. This and this together. People, relationships. That's how you're going to get where you want to get to. Because if you try, I even did an episode about this recently. If you think you're going to get it from social media by just incessantly posting stuff, they call that spam. That's what happened. It ends up going into the spam place. And if people get tired of it enough, they just unfollow you. They'll block you. You know what I'm saying? But when you connect with somebody real to real, one-on-one, that goes way further. That reaches way wider than anything you can do. And you guys need that. We all need to have that. It's this friendship conversation had so much layers. I know you guys got things to bring in there. I don't want to slow you down. But I mean, there was some kind of I think it was some kind of a stat out of Harvard that there was a certain amount of adult men that their spouse and their partner was their only real confidant for years and years and years. And when that relationship failed or ended, they almost like a plane running into turbulence, and then they go into complete ISO, totally shut down, because they don't have multiple places to be able to relieve themselves emotionally. And they just feel like, for a lot of men, isolation gets normal, and it's dangerous. It's deadly. We got a couple comments coming through here now. When you get burnt so many times, that 100%, that midnight call. Okay. There's some typos in there. I couldn't catch some of that stuff. I'm sorry, brother. It can be tough to open up for sure. Beauty and pain in relationships. Most definitely. I mean, if you want to use scripture, let's use that real quick and let you guys speak to the friendship, confidant, isolation situation. Think about Jesus himself. You basically ate, slept, cried, and prayed with somebody that you knew was going to stab you in the back. So you walked past the knife with him in the room, and you just kept on doing that every day for over 3 years. At some point, we got to get the TV movies and the crime dramas out of our head and recognize that, you know what? We got to love even if we think something might happen. We got to trust even if we think something might happen. We can't have a DTA, don't trust anybody attitude, because that's isolation, and we always end up losing on the end of that. If I did that, I never would have met you guys. If I did that, none of this would be happening right now. I wouldn't trust y'all to say, you know what? Y'all can come on this platform and not make me look like a fool out here and not embarrass me in front of my mama who watches this show. I'm trusting y'all. And that's something that I had to give that. I'm not sure if I have that back from everybody yet, but I had to give y'all that. So this is a sacrifice. Y'all might say, you know what? Man, you guys, and then tear me down. I gotta take that chance. And that's what trust and friendship is all about, man. But go ahead, you guys jump in. There's a lot of comments still coming through. Some pretty long ones, so I want to make sure I give them the time they deserve. But go ahead. Any thoughts about the whole friendship isolation thing? How you feeling about the question I asked y'all before? Do you feel better about that 3 a.m. partnership with somebody than you did when you first started with the show?
I'll comment on that.
Go ahead, Pat.
After Coach Clay, mostly because I got a similar story, brother. I served in the Navy, and I had something like that happen too, and that shook up my world. There was this girl that worked in the armory, and pretty girl, always smiled. You would have never thought. And then one day, she just, she worked in the armory, so it was right armory, so it was right there. One day, she went down to the ship, and bam, that's it, right to the head. And you would have never thought, right? Like, you see her every day, she laughing, you smiling, like, you never know what someone's going through. Smile is the face is the easiest thing that you can use to fool people. Like, people are always trying to read your face and eyes. That's the easiest thing you can use to fool people. I don't care how good you are. You can fool people the closest to you. So the show has I've been seeing this movement lately, man. So I'm just happy to have an opportunity. I'm happy for the short time that I know Yusuf, because I see your heart, man. I see where you're trying to take this, and I'm glad that you're helping us go through the journey. So this show has been like just a reminder. The world is getting busy, man. It's getting crowded and distracted. Like, if I didn't need social media to grow my ministry, I promise you I wouldn't be on social media like that, man. Like, it's just too much for me. Too much distracting. Everything is everywhere. And then if we talk about apps I don't even know what shows I'm watching where anymore on TV. Like, where is this show again, babe? Was it who? Was it Tubi? What was this? This again, like, I'm a simple dude, man. So I think this has a potential to really break through the noise in a lot of ways. So I'm glad to be a part of what Yusuf and these young men that are each leading their ministry in their own way, but coming together for a collective. So this show has kind of been like a reminder and like an accountability thing, right? Like, I know every Thursday whether I'm on a panel or not, I know every Thursday this is the movement that's happening. So I know whether either refer people or whether to come and just be a part of the man cave, so to speak. So I like that. I like that aspect of it for sure. And last thing I wanted to say was the 3 a.m. thing, like, I'm conflicted because I told y'all before, man, when you grow up an orphan, I don't think people understand. There's only two ways you can be. Either you're going to have a problem forming relationships, but I've been married 15, 16 years in about 8 days.
Congrats, brother.
So that's not my problem. Congrats. Thank you. Awesome, I became obsessed with relationships. So I gave, like, y'all don't understand. Like, I could tell y'all stories of the abuse and the unfairness and the stuff just to hold on to a relationship because I didn't have nobody, right? So I've kind of wore that out, man, because I've gotten to the point where it's not like I hate the idea of relationships. I'm obsessed. Y'all talk to me for 24 hours. I'll look at the nuances of relationships. I just don't understand. All relationships. I love brotherly in the windows where you have a memory with someone and there's 100 people in the room, and you'll say that one word, and they know the memory you're talking about. But other people, I love stuff like that. I love, I just love all aspects, the fights, the makeup. I just love relationships. I really do. But I've grown tired, not because of the wear and tear relationships, but giving my all to somebody, and one, it not being appreciated, two, getting backstabbed, and three, it not being reflected. So I'm kind of grown tired of that the brotherly thing, because I personally, and this is to respect with y'all and no shade to y'all, is just the only people that I've ever met that has deeply given to a relationship like I have has been my mother and my wife. Every other person will talk about it and they'll say it, they'll promote it like it's a great thing, but when it's time to actually freaking take out the laundry, they're like, oh, I got to go to this Knicks game, or I got bro, I'm stranded over here. I don't call you for nothing. Yeah, man, I just, let me know if you can't find, once you get to that point, it's like, so it's like, it's very tough for me to kind of open up that space. So I resonate with Buddy in the comments, where it's like, man, you've been burned too many times in that midnight card type of friendship. I run too many emotional vampires out there. I get it, man. But at the same time, the old heads that I grew up with says you can't be happy at the fire that cooks your meals and be mad at the same fire that burns your fingertips. It's just, it's kind of like the nuance of both.
Yeah, wisdom
you can't, that's just life. Like, oh, I love water, but can we do something about that wetness? Can we kind of take the wetness out? Or I love the Bible, but can we take that Jesus talk out? Yeah, just look at the book of principles. We don't have to include the Christianity and Jesus stuff, but it's a base. It's like, look, if that was my choice, I would say, hey, can we do all the food with no calories, Jesus? Because I love me fried pork chop and chicken. And let's get rid of calories. Just give me the food. But anyways, I'm going on a rant now, but this is needed. Transparency is needed. Thanks for the group. More talks like this is needed. And honestly, man, I think we can spread a little kindness and insight throughout our day with anybody that we come in contact with, because we never know what we're affecting. And there's been many times where I've met people who said, I was really going to take my life today, but this moment of gratitude or this moment or whatever made me rethink things. And that's enough right there for me. And it's not about how much we do. It's really about, I don't know if y'all heard that parable of, this man was on the beach with a whole bunch of starfish, and he was throwing it in the ocean. And the old man came and said, hey, man, you're never going to get all the starfish and, really change anything. And the man took the starfish and threw it in the ocean and said, yeah, but I just made a difference for that starfish. Right. So I think that's what we're called to do in this life, and as creation. So that's good enough for me.
Love it, man. Thank you so much, man.
I got to jump in here because there's just too much negativity right now. And I'm usually a negative one, which is kind of freaky. But so I don't know. This is part of the reasons that I've actually put relationships at the core of my men's coaching, because men just don't seem to understand relationships and how to be in relationship anymore. And so I feel like we're getting this twisted, because I got 4 or 5 guys that are my ride and die. I can call them right now. They'll be here with a shovel, lie, and no questions asked. No questions. In a heartbeat. I got guys who will fly across the country.
The lie comment is like, okay, we're talking this out right now. I mean, we go ahead. I'm sorry, but just keep going, brother.
Yeah. No. A friend will come help you change your tire. A brother won't ask questions.
Yeah, you need lie for that, right? Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
But that's the thing is, I have brothers who will literally jump on a plane tonight if I call them and be here within hours. No questions asked. And I don't even talk to them more than a couple times a year. These are relationships that I've had and maintained and built over my lifetime. Right. And so I think one of the things we get twisted sometimes when we start talking about relationships is that these are people you have to be in constant communication with. And that is how we define a healthy relationship. All right. My best friend lives in Denver. We've been best friends since high school. He is actually my adopted brother too. Like, my parents adopted him at one point because his family left him. And to this day, I probably talk to him once every 2 or 3 months. Like, we suck at calling each other. And to this day, we pick up that phone, and there's not a question of if or what. It's we pick up right where we were. And if he said, Brent, I need you on a plane now, I'm dropping everything and getting on a plane. If he says something's wrong with my wife, if he says something's going on, I'm dropping everything and getting on a plane. I've got a friend who lives down in Portland. He was only in my life for a brief amount of time, like regularly in my life for probably 4 months. But we connected at a time when he was struggling in his life. He made a trip up for the birth of my daughter because he wanted to bring her gun safety rules card at birth. Because that's the kind of people I roll with. But like, he drove 6.5 hours to bring a laminated copy of the gun safety rules for my newborn so that she would have it when she got old enough to shoot. Right. And no questions would be asked. If I called him right now, he would drive 6.5 hours to come bury a body. No kidding. So I think we get lost in this.
Why are you trying to get me canceled, man?
Sorry.
Story, man.
Don't cancel us, YouTube.
Oh,
no. I think we get lost in this idea of what a healthy relationship looks like, because you can build a really strong, supportive, healthy relationship with another brother. But you also have to realize, like, all of us have lives, all of us have families, a lot of us have businesses or jobs. Like, everybody has their own thing going on. And part of that brotherhood is understanding, yeah, I'm there when you need me, but I can't drop everything just because you want to hang out tonight. Right? Now, if they call me tonight and they're walking on the ledge, I'm not hanging up that phone until we're both walking off that ledge together. And I will be on the phone on the way to their house on my cell phone or wherever they are at. But part of a grown-up relationship is understanding that you have lives and commitments and other things, especially as you grow apart, right? Like I said, one of my best friends, we go back to high school. One of my best friends, we go back all the way to elementary school. And we barely ever talk. They called me one day and was like, hey, I'm having surgery. And this person has a history of health issues. And they have never called me. I was like, you're really scared. They're like, no, I'm not really scared. I was like, man, you've never called me for a medical issue before. I got off the phone. I talked to my wife. I got in a car and I drove across the mountains and was in their hospital room when they woke up. Right? Because awesome. We hadn't talked in probably 2 years, but I was there. So I got those ride and dies in my life. I think it's because we try and convolute what actual relationship looks like. People have brothers. They're just afraid to reach out. And there are people who 100% will come running if you just gave them the chance. But most of the time, our pride and our ego gets in the way of giving people the chance, the opportunity, and the privilege of actually being your friend.
Definitely. Before this show is over, man, I hope you guys can hang. I got to ask 3 questions. It has to happen. I can't go into next week with this. I got 3 questions I got to ask. You know how we do this every single show. I don't care how many times we do a broadcast. You know there's going to be a couple of pow-pows in the episode before the episode closes out. I got 3 pow-pows tonight. Let's check out my guy, man, from the Uncharted. As a firefighter and EMT, I've seen the sad part of isolation that guys feel like they have no one after a relationship is lost, that I've seen lives be taken because they didn't know what was next. My goodness. Thank you for sharing this story, brother. Appreciate you so much. Fantastic podcast, by the way. You got to check my guy out. Robert said T.O. Clay, that type of brother. Yeah, we know, man. We know about that. I heard you are too, brother. So thank you again for doing what you do. That makes T.O. so proud of you too, man. So appreciate you so much. All right. So first of the 3 pow-pows. Let's go ahead and get after it, man. Usually I ask you guys, how many of you guys could you call like at 3 a.m.? I want to flip it a little bit. Who can call you with a real emotional problem? Is there somebody that can call you? Don't name the person, but is there a person that can call you? How many people is that can call you with a real emotional problem? What I want to gauge is, since we started doing this show together, had the number going up or had the number going down? So try to answer that as brief as you can. Who can call you now? How many people can call you with a real emotional problem? And is that number on the upswing or a little bit down? And you can share the reason why if you want to. You don't have to. I just want to hear that little two-part answer from you guys. So jump in real quick so we can move on to the rest of our stuff. Go ahead. Keep going.
All right, I'll jump in. I've been quiet for a little bit. Honestly, ever since that question came up, I've been really thinking about it. And I've put myself out there for a few guys. I don't know how many guys it is. I know that, my family all knows that. I know that there are a lot of guys who do know that. My brother knows that. And there are a lot of guys in my brotherhood that I run that know that. And there's a lot of folks who have called me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now it hasn't necessarily been, bring lie and a shovel, but it has been, issues and I can't believe you're up and hey, I need to talk to you and that kind of thing. But ever since the question came up, it did matter, man. I answered that I didn't have anybody and I went, yeah, I said the same thing that you just said. Who am I there for? And I've been making a point of reaching out more, because if we're going to be the thing that we needed, then we got to make an effort to do that. It's not just going to happen. So it's really cool that came up. Good question.
All right. Thanks, sir. Who's next?
Yeah, I got to a place to where I got burned out with the calls. I got burned out, man.
You had too many folks that trusted you? That's what you're saying? You had too many.
I mean, if that's what one wants to label it or call it, but yeah. I put myself out there to be contacted. I didn't have a choice because I knew, the position in which I held, that comes with it. The more increased responsibility, the more time is going to be allotted. So
your mentorship, yeah, I got you.
And as a leadership coach, man, it's like it may not always be the extreme. I've gotten that call at 3 a.m. Hey, I'm up. Are you up? I'm about to go to the gym. And now I'm pissed off. Like, hey, man, you better not ever call me no 3 in the morning talking about you going to the gym right now. I don't care. But since this show, what I look at it from a different layer. I look at, can I call Brent? That's what I look at. Can I call Rory at 3 in the morning? Can I call DL at 3 in the morning? The other brother that was on last week, I don't know his name. What's his name? Yusef that was on last week. Bottom right hand corner. The bottom right hand corner. Younger brother.
Oscar.
Okay, yeah, Oscar. Same thing. If we're collectively coming together and we all have, the lives that we're living, we may not always agree and see everything eye to eye collectively amongst us, different backgrounds, different cultures, different things. But for that one common cause, I think it's very, very vital because each of us in our own space, it's the old saying of, if you're constantly pouring, who's pouring back into you? So if I call Brent at 3 in the morning, I'm sure if he sees T.O. Clay calling his phone at 3 in the morning, it's serious. He's probably like, man, T.O. Clay, I know him from the Roundtable, but why is he calling me at 3 in the morning? So, but again, that trust factor, I see a lot in the comments they're saying, I've been burned. We've all been burned.
Join the club.
We've all been burned. And I've been burned by the creator. When I wasn't doing right, I got burned. I stuck my hand in the cookie jar and the Lord said, okay, all right. You took from that person. 6 months later, it came back. That law of reciprocity, it came back to me. So I really believe that as men, a lot of times we go to a certain level. And when we get to that level, like the firefighter EMT was saying, it's like I don't know where else to turn. And touching that piece of it is so important. because we've been there. You open up tonight's stream, Yusef, talking about you've been to the edge of that bridge. And if you don't have the know-how of that ledge, which is knowledge, you know, the ledge of the situations I'm dealing with, just like Chaplain said, that young sailor, she went in that armory and she knew the ledge in that moment of I'm willing to go beyond it. And it's all of us sitting back stuck, and not even bringing up her family. That's not out on that ship, by the way. That has to get that call. All of us collectively, how do we negate that? It's very important.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Anybody else real quick?
Yeah, this show it made me more purposeful to reach out. To be fair, in my field, you know, a lot of people reach out. A therapist, I see people in the office. Chaplain, you know that if you're familiar with that, you know what that entails. And then before that, I was always the middle guy in my relationships. So it's God who's been calling my whole life. I've always been the middle guy. So I guess that's God's gift. But I've started being more intentional, reaching out. Like I do checks now. Same way you have this every Thursdays. There's brothers now that I check in every weekend. I'd be like, hey man, I'm proud of you, man. I know the world may not tell you this. You're a father, you're a husband, you go to work, then you go home and go to work, right, for your kids and your wife. There's a lot of sacrifices you made. You used to be a great athlete in school, kind of gave that up when you had your first child, and now you're working it, you're paying it, and this economy, your wife's not working. I do Friday checks. I said, man, you made it through the week, man. You made it through the week, man. You're here. So I started being more intentional in doing that versus the drain of people reaching out to me with their crisis. So I started. I guess I started reaching them before the crisis. Like, hey, you ain't got to wait till the car break down. There's oil changes.
It's called preventative measures, man.
Right. Hey, man. Hey, the car broke down. Now you take it to the shop. Hey, man, did you do your oil changes? How your oil changes this week? That's good, brother. All right. I'm glad. So that's definitely shows like this. Keep that in mind, man. So that's what that did for me. That's what I do differently now.
Okay, somebody jumped in here. Rory's he's sending out a lot of checks tonight. A lot of checks are going out tomorrow morning by 8 a.m. I'm trying to say Rory's personally been there for me to call at 3 a.m. and it's helped me when I felt low or sick, when I felt like giving up my podcast. My guy. Rory, you're the best, brother. Clearly. They said so.
Humbled, man. Just humbled. I'm incredibly humbled that there are a bunch of my students in the comments, and that's the kind of stuff that makes all this worth it, man. So if I start crying, I'm just going to turn the camera off and move off to the side. You guys just leave me be, and I'll come back.
Andy just give you some tissue and you keep on going. That's not
man. I don't think you can have actually personally been to the ledge and not be willing to be there when people call. Like once you've actually had to be walk back from that ledge yourself.
Yeah.
I don't think you're able to close off because you're there because somebody walked you off that ledge. And that's a price that's a debt you can't repay.
Definitely. I told y'all 3 pounds. It's going to be 2 true pals, man. I'm going to take it easy on it tonight. Here's another question. And from what I'm hearing in the comment section, man, we already seen it already happening. But have you ever lost somebody or almost lost somebody and wondered if having a conversation with them or a different conversation would have changed something? Did that make sense? Have you ever lost somebody or almost lost somebody because, you didn't have that conversation? Or if you did, would it have changed the situation that happened? Please share that. Be as transparent, but also as brief as you can, please. Go ahead and share. Thank you for the comment, Robert. Appreciate it, man.
That happened to me last year, man. That happened to me last year, man. There's a guy that I knew. He was a young Christian. And, I've trained Kung Fu for over a decade. And I met him. He was a boxer. He wanted to get into Kung Fu. He was also a brother in Christ that just became a Christian. So it was kind of like a trifecta relationship. We had the kung fu, had the working out because he was a professional boxer. He also did professional weightlifting. Um, and then fast forward, trained him for years. I moved up here. That was in Florida. Fast forward, I counseled him and his wife just for free. I didn't charge him anything. I counseled him. Well, let me say coach. I coached him, for months, for hours at a time. And then I think I had a nonprofit then, and I was like, hey, man, I showed him the site. I said, man, we're asking for some donations. We have a 501c nonprofit, and we're asking for donations to keep the lights on because the website, fast forward, the website got a lot of hits, needed some more money because of servers and all that stuff. So I was getting donations from people that I helped before. He ignored the message. I said, all right, cool. I mean, I'm used to it. That's how it is, right? And then like 2 weeks later, he reaches out, hey, man, me and my wife, this and that. And I said I was going to get back to him, but I didn't get back to him that day. I was in my feelings. I was like, man, I'm tired of this. You help people over and over and over. I'm asking for a donation of any amount. I'm showing you the stats, showing this order. It's not like we're just trying to use it for whatever. I said, I'll get to him tomorrow. In my feelings. Well, he ended up getting arrested that night. And then he was let go a few days later. I completely forgot to get back to him. And then I was like, it came back to me like a week. I was like, oh, shoot. I was supposed to get back to And he ended up going on a high-speed chase with the cops. And the cops ended up taking his life. And right before the high-speed chase, he took his wife's life. And the child witnessed the whole thing. That still messes me up to this day, man. Be honest with you. I was like, dang, man, I let my feelings get in front of an opportunity to be there for someone. So I kind of wear that on my back now. That really, really, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I had a report for this guy. He really respected me. Him and his wife really opened up to me. Could I have dissuaded whatever happened, with that one conversation? Was it me not being there that led to, okay, well, I'm going to do what this demon in my mind said to do? And, I wear that, but logically, I can refute it, right? But emotionally, the stain is still there. I feel like, and I believe if someone's ready to do it, there's nothing you can do. And I work in this field. Someone really want to do it, there's absolutely nothing you can do. You can't watch them 24 hours. All it takes is a minute or two. They have a plan. They don't have to say anything. The people that are saying something, they want to be stopped. They're crying for help. But the people that I grew up in, me and Yusuf talked about this. We grew up in similar hoods. Like I was an orphan, right? But the people that I grew up around was gangbangers, drug dealers, pimps. That was the neighborhood. That was just where the Haitian community that didn't have a visa, that was working, in the fields, picking watermelon and tomatoes. That's where they can put their kids at. So that's what I was around. So that's the byproduct of that. People are going to do what they want to do it. However, you never know what God's going to do through you. It's the counter argument to that, right? So it's like, I wear that on my heart. Now I'm kind of taking it more seriously when people reach out. And even if I can't reach out, or even if it's someone I've helped several times that doesn't really even share a post, right? Don't even share a post. That costs no money. Share this post, right? But I put it in my heart, like, you know what? God gave me this gift, not for me, but to edify the church, to edify the body. So that wasn't up for me to decide to not help. So that I wear that, man. I wear that so much, man.
Sometimes they want it to be great, man. We got to keep on going after greatness, though. It is what it is, man. I'm trying to say it's not your fault, brother. Even if you would have responded that very night, you don't know if he would have still done it. I admire you for talking about it because that is how you face it. That's what this show's about, man. Okay, you guys, I didn't get a chance to answer the question. Want to go ahead and jump in? We got a little bit of time left in the show. Go ahead.
The story is way too long, but I've been down that road, and you can't. No, there's not a quick version. Like it's long and drawn out, sadly. But the short, like,
I give you time for it, brother.
like 10 or 15 minutes, man. Like it's a long But the short come out of it is, like Chap was talking about, you can make yourself crazy going down that road, like asking the cans, ifs, what, if only, if I were there. It will make you nuts, and you can do all you can do. But at the end of the day, when you have that experience, if you have that experience, and I hope most people don't, the hard next step is just giving that to God and not letting that drown you, because that alone will drown you in a heartbeat as a man.
And Chaps knows that too, Brent.
I know, but
for
everybody out there, they need to hear that.
Yeah, I agree with you, brothers. What I'm saying, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying it out loud that Chaps knows that. Why? Because Chaps' relationship with the Lord, you were spot on, Brent. That's the only way, bro. The only way is that quiet, close commune with God, and really doing the most advantageous thing that we all say, gentlemen. Man, it's in God's hands. Because I agree with you, Chops. If they want to do it, they're going to do it, bro. We can sit on, and I use that word very strategically. I was burned out because I sit on them phones at many a nights till the sun came up. Hey, man, we all love you. You don't have to do this. You do this. Think about your children. Think about your spouse. Think about your mom back in Texas or wherever. And I've experienced it where I gave everything that I feel like God could particularly give me, and that person still did it and left me a note. Well, at least you cared enough to talk to me all night. Nobody else did. So when you say you carry, Chaplain, Brent's right, man. I know you know, Chaplain, because just that alone, being a chaplain, bro. Like there was times for me personally, gentlemen, that the only person I could turn to was the chaplain, just because I knew the chaplain knew the Lord. And we didn't want to talk about no military crap, how hardcore the Marine Corps is, and this, that, and the third, and that's just another one. It was, Chaps, you know the Lord in the same manner in which I do. We could sit in billions of meetings about it. But the bottom line is, I feel we could almost do ourselves a better service by being bold about God, bro. Because to me, that's the only thing. I know when I tried to take my life, I went all the way through with it. I did. I swallowed about 20 blood thinner pills, bro. Laid there. And I felt myself leaving. And all it took was my mama saying, Joe. She said my daddy's name, bro. She said, Joe. The next thing you know, I'm in the hospital with a tube down my throat and they pumping my stomach and all of that. But I wanted to go, bro. Straight up, gentlemen. Men's Roundtable Series, bro, 12 March. I wanted to go. Because I was like, bro, Satan, you won, bro. You won. You got me. Because I can't stop getting high. And the moment my mama, for some reason, got up, we've been talking about 3 a.m. She got up out of her bed at 3 a.m. and walked in and just opened the door and heard me moaning, Joe. So again, gentlemen, like Yusuf, man, you give us this platform, bro, to speak about these things. And the goal is for someone to hear our vulnerability about how real this stuff really is, man. Shannon just said it. See, me professing it out of my mouth opened Shannon to say it. I've been there many times. But going back to the firefighter, the EMT, man, we get in that isolation, like Robbie said, we get in that isolation, bro, and it's like that.
Fish in the barrel, man.
Yeah, bro. But there is still, like Brent said, if you've been there, to me, it is our duty, and some may disagree, but being there, trying to take my own life, Mama getting out of the bed at 3 a.m. Joe, I don't remember anything else, man, but just that tube going down my throat. And it was like they was just snapping pictures in the room. And I can promise you, gentlemen, like Brent said, man, once you've been through these things, it is our duty, man. And that relationship with the Lord, man, it's like I feel like I'm not doing right if I just keep it all to myself, bro. Oh, I'm good. I'm all right. I'm retired. I drive a Tesla. I got a nice house. My wife is beautiful. My kids are doing great in school. Like it's almost like the Lord put that branding on me, like branding a cow. He was like, "Psst, now you got it. Go tell the story. Because if you go tell the story, then there's hope that someone else say, man, that guy's bold enough to be truthful about it. Why can't I be?" So,
Yes, sir. Anybody else? I love this, man. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'd like to jump in. I'm going to jump in on that for just a second if I can.
Go for it, please.
I think, Tio, you said that great, and Brent, man, that line was perfect. That was perfect. I'm not the only guy on here or in the comments that probably shouldn't be here. When you are one of those guys, and there you go, man. When you are one of those guys, and you tried to not be here because you really thought that was the right thing. The only reason we're standing here is because he would not let us do that. He didn't stop that from us for nothing. He stopped that because he wasn't done with us and because we absolutely had more work to do. And there's a correlation there no matter what. No matter what, there's a correlation there. And if nothing else, we were put back here to make sure that we stop somebody else so that he doesn't have to. I mean, at the very least. So I'm with you guys 100%, man. And I know this isn't where the question was going, but I'm really glad it went there, to be honest with you, because I think that's really powerful and needs to be said. There's too many guys out there who feel like they're alone in that moment. If they hear any one of us or anybody from anywhere that actually says you're not alone, man, that just might stop that hammer from coming forward. And that's all the difference. So thank you guys, all you guys. That was awesome.
Sure. Anybody else? Comment section on the panel. It's open, man. I ain't rushing y'all out of here. You can do whatever you want to do with this. It just matters that much. So you got it. You got a question? You got a comment, guys? If not, I'll release you, man. But if so, go ahead, spill it. Let's go.
This is such an important conversation right now. Men make up so much of this statistic because we all feel alone. That's why this podcast, we're having such important conversations. It is a loneliness epidemic for men out there. So many men feel like they have to go through this world alone. They feel like they have to carry all the burden and the pain by themselves. They feel like they got nobody to talk to you. And these men talking today on this roundtable, and so many of the brothers out here in the comment section, they all want to talk to each other. They all want someone to talk to, and they all want to be talking with people. It is so important for men to start to understand, because we have gone a long way from men understanding this. You're not alone. I was sharing in the private chat, my chaplain in the military saved my life. And when I was a youth minister, after I left the military, I would tell my kids going in the military, the first person you need to track down on any base, whether you're in boot camp, whether you're in school, or whether you're on actual duty, the first person you need to get to know is you need to go find your chaplain, because they are a lifeline to sanity. They are a lifeline to your connection with God. They will always listen, and they have an incredible power to intervene, even at a military level. That is and for all our brothers and sisters out there in the military, your chaplain has so much power that you are not aware of in the military. My chaplain went head to head with a 3-star general, because there is a 4-star chaplains somewhere out there that they report to. Farther and farther, if you go far enough up the food chain, there's someone out there who can fight at that level. This is a lifeline, especially for our brothers and sisters in the military. You are not alone. That chaplain is one of the most important people on your base. Please, please reach out to them, embrace them, come close to them. They will be a lifeline in the darkest days.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else?
And I just want to add to that. I don't want people hearing this to think it's a title thing. I think it's just a person and their commitment thing, right? Because I've had, bluntly speaking, I have crackheads growing up that gave me some of the best advice I ever heard in my life, right? I've had people who were addicted to other things, right? I've had people who were shunned by their profession and their peers. So I think just keeping your ears open to wisdom and the intentions of that person is just important as the title or the position that they hold.
Yeah. Anybody else? All right. Well, needless to say, well, first, I'm sorry to join the comment. I'm so sorry. All right, so Uncharted Nav, though, this is the if this man's podcast is anything like his comments, you want to check out this man's podcast. This man is very thoughtful, man. He sounds like he has a lot to give. His comment says, "This life doesn't write your story, no matter what your past, your failures, no matter what you've been through in this life. It's not what writes the story. God is the one who writes the story." Thank you, sir. Appreciate you so much. All right, we got some more comments coming in still. This is from David. Warriors helped me with some of the stuff in the past with my wife's cancer and just how to handle things and mentally straighten up. I hope your wife is doing good, brother. Thank you for sharing that, Warrior. You're the real deal, brother. Thank you, brother. All right, Robert. So the wise man eventually learns the truth that pride tries to hide. No man was designed to carry life alone. We talk about that a lot in the show, Robert. Good stuff. Strength is not proven by isolation. It's proven by the courage to build a circle. See, that part right there is going to take us in a whole nother hour. You start messing with me on that kind of stuff right there. That line right there is proven by the courage to build a circle. That's what I've been trying to tell you, brothers, for I don't know how long now, almost a year. That part. Every strong man you admire had a team around him. Warriors had brotherhoods. Kings had councils. Great leaders had trusted advisors, not because they were weak, because they were wise enough to understand that perspective, accountability, and support multiply strength.
Man, that's powerful.
That's
bro.
That's
why it, I have to honestly say it, man. Like, man, Robbie Lytle and I, man, we're a part of different projects. We got book projects going. We got, leadership coaching going. We got, podcasting going, webinars. It's a lot of different things. All the things that you said up front, Yusef, that at the end of the day, bro, it really, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter. Sales funnels, SEO and CRM and all the different things, bro. Because even if you got all those things tight, if you ain't tight in here, bro, and you're not tight with what he just said in terms of having a circle of individuals, man, that the illities, man, I talk about them illities all the time. Accountability, responsibility, adaptability. I could keep naming it, those illities, man. In those attributes, like we talked about on the one-on-one the other day, Yusef, I've gotten 4 or 5 calls just from you and I sitting together and conversing, just openly.
That's because you're awesome, man. They like you,
well, man. I'll be honest, Yusef, man.
It just happened to be on my show.
It's another illity. It's the vulnerability. When we get into those illities, man, and people really start resonating. As good brother Roy just said, man, like, it's something about the connection, gentlemen. And with Robbie Lytle, man, shout out to Robbie, man. He's about to have his doctorate. And I tell Robbie all the time, he's working on the final piece of his dissertation, and his dissertation is about God, bro. It's God, So he's so confident in it because he's like, bro, I could have wrote this dissertation about anything, but I'm trying to write a dissertation that brings us together as men, as women, better relations on both sides of the argument. Because it is an argument when we, like Chaplain said, we start looking at social media, bro. It's all over the place, and finding that proper discernment in there. So I just wanted to say, man, like when Brent was just talking about the chaplain and how important it is, dog. Like I felt like a gazillion watt beam go through my body. Thanks to God. Brent, I promise to God, because I know what you just said, man, because I did it. It's like trying to tell someone, man, go to the Navy Relief Society. They can help you if you're struggling. They can really help you. And I'm telling you, bro, like, Rob, man, like he said, every power of entity that we've seen didn't do it alone. And we have so many different things happening, gentlemen. And it's like, man, as Chaplain said again, I keep going back to Chaps, man. Like every Thursday, I'm so glad you gentlemen came together and said, man, we're doing this every week. Because in my opinion, man, it's needed. And even during football season, when football season kicks off, Thursday night, I don't really
care more than I care about this. And I love everybody probably. This is more important than that to me.
It is. And we have to spread that, because we know as soon as preseason starts, bro, it's gonna be like, man, men's roundtable series.
I ain't dropping it, though.
Talk about these things, or am I glued in front of that TV? So again, we're fighting against principalities, gentlemen. We know that. But no, man, thank each one of you, man. I needed it tonight. Today's been a heavy day for me. It's been, I consider it a heavy day. Just a lot of different things going on. And it's like, as men, we have to answer the solution to all of them. Yeah, and especially if we call ourselves a leader. So I thank you all, because what I learned over time, gentlemen, is the more I release, the more it's laid out into the atmosphere, the vulnerability, the empathy. Those are the things, man, that I believe we hearken our heart to God. He hears, and things begin to heal. We start feeling the sense of, hey, we can handle this. So thank you, gentlemen, each one of you.
Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate that. And Robert's talking about the episode where I interviewed T.O. on One-on-One with Mr. U. He said it was dope. It was very dope. That episode was amazing. T.O. was he had a lot to give, man. So check the episode out. I'd love you to catch that. Man, look, I ain't messing with y'all boys here in this private chat. First off, y'all even come on Thursday night, come on Friday night now, so y'all even know what's going on over there. See that? Nothing's replacing this show unless I'm out of town. That's the only way we getting preempted on this show. I'm not in Charleston. It's the only way. I don't think I can do it from a hotel. Maybe I can do it from a hotel. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Lord, this has just been stellar, man. I don't want to cut you guys off, man. What's up, Steve? I don't want to cut you guys off, man. But if you got something else you want to share, man, this is still a safe space, man. By all means, please do, man. If you don't, I want to go ahead and drop a quick announcement, and then we'll go ahead and close out, man. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about it. Not too many now, but any closing thoughts? Anything else you want to add? Anything that popped up?
Yeah, I'd like to say something. Yeah. Real quick. I just, we always get, comments because we're up here, guys. And I applaud everybody who's up here on this panel every single week, because it's not easy to have these talks. But you got to give a shout out to the commenters, man. Week after week after week, we get the best comments on the show. And I mean, tonight was off the charts. I mean, this close to losing it 3 or 4 times, guys, but you didn't get me yet. So better luck next week. All right. But we have the best audience.
I might be able to get you, so don't do that. Don't make it a challenge. Keep that off the table. Don't do that.
Hey, I got a question, Mr. You, real quick.
Yes, sir.
What's your process in, having people come up here? Because there's a couple of brothers I have in mind. They're doing things, walking with the Lord. I don't know if you want me to send an email to you or a text message, y'all talk, or what's the process? When I'm asking,
I need to interview him. I love you. I love you, and I trust you, man. But you know what I'm saying.
Of course, for sure.
Have people come through, based on the strength of the panelists, who I love and trust. I wouldn't put you up there. And the person was like, kind of strange.
No, I got you.
I
no offense taken.
5 or 10 minutes. Let me interview them.
All right.
They can email me. I'll give them my link. We can set up a quick 5-10 minute chat. And if it works out, they can join us, man. I got plenty of room for panelists. We can always have I want to give you guys time to do things you got to do and not feel boxed in every week. Give you guys some flexibility. So I'm always down for that. So that's the easy answer for that. Easy answer.
Can you text me your email when you have a chance?
You know it, baby.
I do. Mr. You at Gmail?
Yes, sir. At that Gmail, baby.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So I want to bring Rory back to the front stage again real quick. Now, and I'm doing this because understand we're not trying to shill anything out here. That's not what we're doing. We're not corporate shillers out here. That's not what we're doing. All right. But I hear from you guys, again, I'm not calling your names, but there's a lot of you. And by the way, off the screen, Brent had to bounce and take care of family. So thank you for your time, Brent. We love you, brother. Thank you, man. All right. So I hear from you guys all the time about monetization. And it's a real situation. There are people who've been in 10 years and they're not monetized still. You know what I'm saying? And they sometimes they try to justify all for the love of the game. You know what I'm saying? But you have to validate all the hours and time you put into this work that you're doing. And Rory has been gracious enough to offer his time to finally do a seminar that will allow you to be monetized like he is. Rory, real quick, man, we're going to go ahead and let you share that once more again, and we're going to have stuff on social media. You guys need to share it where you are. Get hold of this graphic. Share it where you are, because somebody in your neck of the woods needs to monetize too, man. So by all means, please go ahead, Rory, real quick, and then we'll close out.
I appreciate it. And you guys, hey, Mr. U is going to be there. So he's backing it up. He's backing up the talk right now. Guys, if you don't want to monetize, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? But I get asked all the time about it. I've got a really great course on it. I get paid very well to teach this stuff. But I'm doing this for very, very little to try and get as many of you guys in here as possible. And I was inspired to do it by you guys in here. So we're going to talk about basic stuff, but we're going to talk about stuff that people have no idea about. And we're going to talk about ways that you can actually make money in this business for real. And I am not talking about, buy me a coffee or just set some on Patreon and hope for $5. We're talking about real live honest to God stuff. Okay. And hey, we're doing this. It's going to be 10 to 12:30. We'll take a break in the middle, of course, because I need more coffee. So, we'll definitely be doing that. I'm telling you, after 12:30, I'm committed to staying as long as possible to talk to anybody who wants to, one-on-one for free after that, about matching up what we talk about with your particular business and your goals and what you're doing. So I'll be there at least for 3 hours, guys, at your service, if that's what you want. So looking forward to seeing you all there. Message me, email me to reserve your place. It's only $199. That's it. And then come by and do it up. Let's get this done. You'll make a heck of a lot more than that when you monetize, I promise you. But we don't give it away for free because free doesn't have any value, and you got to have some skin in this game, guys, if you're going to make it work. So that's it. Thank you, Mr. U.
Well, thank you for your time and for offering this to everybody. Appreciate it so much. Well, guys, nonetheless, we were not able to complete what we started last week. So I think I said it last week. We're going to just go ahead and just take the whole month to walk through this because I think it's going to take us that much. We go into layers of deepness that honestly, I ain't sure we had it in us. But y'all proved me dead wrong. And we got more to go. So in the next 2 weeks to close the month of March out, we're going to have a lot more of this. We're going to stay on what men don't say and why they don't say it. We're going to get into it. So I only ask you to do one more thing before I hit the closeout music, hit the outro music. Treat this like this is your show. I'm talking to the panelists and those inside the chat. Treat this like this is your show. Promote it like it's your show. Share it like it's your show, because at the end of the day, somebody in your neck of the woods and your sphere of influence might need to have what's coming out of your mouth. And they may not hear it at the coffee shop. They may not hear it at the supermarket. They may not hear it at the movie theater. They might hear it while you're on the air right here. So please think about that in your regular social media discourse and what have you. So be thinking about that. Love you guys. Thank you so much for the contribution tonight. This show was amazing. Thank you for the OT as well, for all you guys that stuck with us a little longer. I think it was worth it.